Hello, YouTube fam. God bless you. God is faithful. I hope and pray that you all are well. I just want to drop a few words of encouragement. Continue to be faithful. Continue to let God lead you. Continue to let God guide you. But pay attention to the signs that God has shown you. Stay faithful to yourself. Keep God first. No matter what people say. Be who God say you are. You're well. You're growing. And you shall win in this season. You shall win in this season. You shall win in this season. No matter what it looks like, no matter what people say, no matter how they say it, you will win in this season. God bless you, my friend. Randy Henry, God bless you, brother. God bless you, God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. You will win in this season. No matter what it looks like, it looks bad. It may look like it's not going to turn around. God bless you. God bless you. My spiritual brother, God bless you. God bless you. God bless you all. No matter what it looks like, y'all. We got to be mindful of how God works. We have to be mindful of how it's going to work out for your good. So many times we have the opportunity to do right, but we choose to do wrong. So we have to be mindful of our actions. This life that we live is not our life, it's the Lord's life. So we have to be mindful of that. There are so many times in my life where I want to just give it all up, where I want to just say, you know what, I want to just throw in the towel. But then I thought about it. I can be somebody that's living a life that's not pleasing to God and end up losing everything that I have. Or I can be somebody that's actually living what I'm preaching and teaching. What guy, what woman are you? Are you trusting in God all the way? Are you trusting in God wholeheartedly? Or is it just something that you're doing because somebody else said it? Or is it something that you're doing because somebody else did it? What are we doing with our time? What are we doing with our life? Who are we pleasing? What are we trying to achieve in this life? What are your goals? A positive mindset is needed in a nation. A positive mindset is needed in a church house. A positive mindset is needed in a job. A positive mindset is needed in a home. Sometimes people think that you are a fool. You far from a fool. Pay attention to the signs that God has shown you. Let God be God in your life. Let Him build you, no matter what it looks like. No matter who says it. Let God perfect those things concerning you. Let Him build you into that great woman, that great man. You all have to understand how to trust God. I've been praying on that, to trust and have all faith in God. It's so easy. You have to trust God wholeheartedly. You have to trust Him. A lot of times you're going to get involved in some situations and areas in your life where you want to give it all up. You're going to get involved in some areas in your life where you're going to say, why did I do this? Or what was the purpose of me doing this? Or why did I come here? Or why am I in this position? But you have to trust God. The greatest time to trust God and have faith is in the areas where you can't see Him. That's when you need to send your faith out to be your guide and your eyes. Because your faith is your spiritual eyes in the spiritual realm. And it sees something that the flesh can't see, but the spirit make intercessions over that. That's why without faith it's impossible to please God. If you don't have faith, it's impossible to please Him. You have to have faith in those things that you can't see. You have to have faith in it so God can make those things come to existence. It's not hard to trust God. It's just hard for us to let go of control. When we let go of control, that's when God is able to step in and create that positive mindset. We need positive mindsets in this nation. There's too many fake people going on. We need some positive, real people. So many people are calling on God. I want to thank God, but that's not the God that they're thinking. We have to think. I know this young woman, a good friend of mine's daughter, and she always says she want to be famous. She always says she want to be famous, and her dad said he's going to carry her out to Hollywood and let her see. We need to learn the history so this won't be a mystery to us. We have to learn the history so this won't be a mystery to us. So many of us are misled. We're quick to call God Jehovah Jireh according to Genesis 22 and 13. But do we really believe that? Do we really believe that? Do we really believe that he is Jehovah Jireh? Do we even believe that? Do we even believe that he's Jehovah Rapha, according to Exodus 15 and 26? Do we really believe those things? We quick to holler these things, but do we really believe what we holler, what we preach? We have to be mindful in this season that we don't get caught up into a lifestyle that's not pleasing to God. There's so many people that are misled, and there's so many people that are misfed in this season. I just want to get on and tell you all, have a positive mindset. How do I know when to let go? Go of soul tie. I have changed to please. Mr. Randy, could you bring that question up again? Bring that question up again, Mr. Randy Henry, my spiritual brother. What was that question again? I want to help you with this question. What was that question again? Let's see if I can go to it. What was that question again? I want to help you with that question. He said, how do I know when to let people go? We have so many different signs that God shows us when people's season is up. See, most people come in your life for a season. Most people come in your life as a reason. Most people come in your life as a lesson. Some people come in your life as a blessing. But we have to let people know when their season is up. If somebody's in your life and they're only your friends when you're doing something for you, or they're only for you when you're doing something for you, but when you're not doing nothing for you, then they're not your friend. They don't claim you. They don't want to come around you. Then it's time for you to let them know that their season is up. There's a lot of people that have boyfriends and girlfriends that only come around them when they need something, or only come around them when they're in the need of encouraging words, or in the need of a ride, or in the need of something like that. And they say that they have a relationship. That's not a relationship. That's relations. You just around me when you need something. So that's not a relationship. A relationship is somebody that's in wholeheartedly. So we have to have a positive mindset when it comes to understanding. We can't forget about the signs that God shows us. A lot of us are connected to people that we have spiritual soul ties to, and we don't want to cut those ties. And God is the only one that can cut those spiritual soul ties. He's the only one that can bring you out of that captivity mindset and bring you back to the way that you need to be in this life. But you have to be seeking after a positive mindset. That mindset has to be positive. God is a faithful God. He's a gracious God. And I believe that he has us in places for a reason. But we have to be mindful of what he's doing, how he's doing it in this season. He's a gracious God, a powerful God. And I thank God for everything that he's doing in this season. He's so amazing. We have to be mindful of these things. See, a lot of us are lost because it's not that we can't be found. A lot of us are lost, not because we can't be found. A lot of us are lost. I want to do better than what I'm doing. Good afternoon. God bless you. God bless you, my spiritual sister. God bless you. Listen, we can only become what we seek. We can only become what we seek. If we seek mess, then we're going to become messy. Whatever we value is what we become in this life. Whatever we value is what we become in this life. If you want to do better than what you're doing now, you have to let go of control and give God your life. Give him your life so that he can manifest those things in the inside of you, so that he can perfect those things concerning you. God want to do so much for us. I'm talking about the God that gave his son Jesus. I'm talking about the God that gave his son Jesus. I'm not talking about another God. I'm talking about the God that gave his son Jesus, his son that died on the cross. We have to understand the price of salvation. When we understand the price of salvation, that's when we're going to have a motivation and a motive to know that we have to have a positive mindset. Sometimes we walk this life and we forget who we are, who God is. We forget these things. God is right there by you now. and he wants to touch your heart. He wants to open doors up to you. But we are so embraced in now the things that we're going through. We are so embraced in those things that we're not able to allow God to manifest through us. We're not able to allow God to fix those things in the inside of us, because we do a lot of things that we shouldn't do. We say a lot of things that we shouldn't say, and we wonder why. Lord, why am I going through this thing that I'm going through? Lord, why I can't get along? God bless you, son. My son has joined. My son, Richard. Richard, I love you, son. God bless you. We wonder why these things are not where they need to be. God have things and blessings right amongst you, ready to bless you, ready to open up to you. But we take the time that we should be getting closer to God, and we take that time to be evil. We take that time to be not men of God and not women of God. It takes respect to get respect in this life. It takes respect to get respect in this life. A lot of times in this walk, I see people do things, and as long as people don't know that you know better or you know the truth, they're going to keep placing those things in front of you. They're going to keep trying to do those things in front of you. We have to be complete with God. We have to be completely sold out for Him. We have to be completely sold out for Him. Does anybody have any questions before I get ready to get off? Does anybody have any questions before I get ready to get off? I'm about to get ready to get off here. Does anybody have any questions before I log off? God is a faithful God. He's a gracious God. And I believe that He's able to give us that positive mindset. Does anybody have any questions? Those of you that's on, do anybody have any questions before we get off? God is a faithful God. He's a mighty God in power, a mighty God in spirit. Does anyone have any questions for me? How do you overcome people who try to bring you down because they are hurt? The first thing you have to do, son, like I tell you all the time, is you have to display a wisdom of God. You have to display that wisdom of God, son. I tell you that all the time. I teach you all to be children of accountability and responsibility. When somebody is hurt, hurt people. When somebody is hurt, they hurt other people. So you have to display a wisdom of God that's not like any other. You have to know who you are. You have to know what God has for you. You have to know what you represent. Because a lot of people are not going to tell you how they feel about you, but their action will show you exactly how they feel about you. We have to pay attention to the sign that God shows us. And son, I teach you all this every day, each and every day. Hurt people hurt people. We have to learn that. We have to pray for their strength, pray for their healing, pray that God deliver them from that hurt so that they can be better. Anybody else have any questions? Anybody else have any questions? Does anybody have any more questions? How can my husband get connected with God, with godly man? All right, I got two questions. How can you can wholeheartedly surrender to God? The first thing that you're going to know when you wholeheartedly surrender to God is that you're not going to want to do the things that you used to do. You're not going to want to be around the people that you used to be around. When you wholeheartedly have surrendered yourself to God, no matter what goes on in your life, you're going to trust God. No matter when you can't see a way, you're going to trust Him. No matter what people say about you, no matter how people bring your past up, you're going to trust in him with all your heart. And you're going to lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways, you're going to acknowledge God. Everything that you do, you're going to acknowledge God. No matter how it looks, no matter how it feels, you're going to acknowledge God in that position. You're going to know that you wholeheartedly surrendered yourself to God, because the things that used to make you mad ain't going to make you mad anymore. The people that used to lie on you and get to your nerves, they're not going to be able to get to your nerves anymore. When you wholeheartedly surrender yourself to God, you have let go of everything. You have let go of control. You have let go of that lifestyle. That lifestyle that you live have become the lifestyle of God. That mind that's in you, you know that you have to have the same mind that God has. Nobody will be able to turn you away when you have wholeheartedly surrendered yourself to God. When you are wholeheartedly surrendered yourself to God, you're going to know it, because when you get around people, they're not going to want to talk to you. They're not going to want to hang around you, because the first thing they're going to say is you with this Jesus stuff. Get away from me with this Jesus stuff. The next question was asked, how do you get your husband around godly men? All you have to do is just be a godly woman. And pray that God send people in your husband's life. And pray that God open your husband's eyes up. And pray that he take off that heart for heart, or whatever heart that he has. Carry it to the Lord in prayer. And believe that it's already done. And God will line men up that'll be around your husband, that's going to enter into the experience that he's in, so that he can be able to know that he can be delivered, set free, and saved from anything that comes against him in this world. We have to be mindful of these things. When you have wholeheartedly surrendered yourself to God, when you have just said, Lord, I just give up. My life is in your hand. I don't want to think the way that I used to think. I don't want to say what I used to say. I don't want to go where I used to go. I don't want to be that person that I used to be. When you let go of control, God will send people in your life to enter into your experience, so that you can be made whole, and you can be set free, and you can be an example of the goodness and great things that God can do for you, through you, and around you. Seem like people take that surrender hard kindly and play against it, take advantage of you. No, Mr. Petway, this is me. God said he won't have you ignorant. He won't have you ignorant to these devil devices. A lot of people that are not sold out for God, the first thing that they're going to say is, for you to be a man of God, you need to do this and you need to do that. God gave you 5 senses, and one of them wasn't dumb. See, common sense isn't so common to most people. You have to be mindful that people come at me like that all the time. Oh, man of God, I need this. Man of God, I need that. It's been people that came to me and asked me through inbox that they need a little money to make it over to the next day. And God have shown me that they was just lying. They were just trying to get me out of character. And I asked them, why do they play with God? Who made you? Why do you allow Satan to trick you to play with God? Oh, no, I ain't playing. I need money for real. I need money for real. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do that. God said, be still and know that I am God. Next thing you know, they're coming up on a live feed and they're sitting there. They're smoking marijuana. They're cursing like a sailor. They're drinking up and all this different stuff. Then I said, now I wonder if I would have entered into them and paid them that money that they saying that they needed. How would I would feel? We have to learn that sometimes people come to us with things to see how far they can go with us. It's just like when a woman, a married woman or a married man with a positive mindset, a wholeheartedly positive mindset, nobody's not going to be able to get you out of character, because your mind is grounded. You know what you want. You know what you have. You know what you're trying to get. So nobody can come to you and persuade you to do wrong, because your mind is already set. How can I get my husband to understand my life and Christ is strengthened and stop calling me crazy? First off, ma'am, I'm going to tell you like this right here. This is what you have to do. You have to believe that no man, no woman, no boy or girl have the power over you. When people call you crazy, they're only letting you know how they are. When people call you crazy, they're only letting you know how they are. a lot of people are not going to understand the will of God. A lot of people are not going to understand these things. See, sometimes in marriages, in lifelong issues, we try to get somebody to understand something spiritual. That mind is stuck in a carnal mindset. See, somebody's mind that's stuck in a carnal mindset, you can't understand something spiritual because you're stuck in a carnal mindset. So you can't possibly understand what God is showing you or telling you. Hold on, let me get this door. We have to be mindful of what God does for us, what he do to us. You know how many people call me crazy in this walk? You know how many people that says, man, you have lost your mind. You know how many people tell me that I'm worshiping a false and fake God? You know how many people saying that, oh, the word of God isn't real? You know how many people saying those people are people that haven't tried to seek out the God themselves. They are letting somebody else tell them how God is. They don't have an experience with God. They have a relation with God, meaning that their family have told them of God. They have probably read a few scriptures out of the Bible, but they did more research on trying to figure out that God wasn't real so that they won't have to let go of their control. See, a lot of people say that the Bible is this whole Christianity thing is just mind control. No, it isn't. See, a lot of people don't want to let go of control. Everybody want to be their own God. So when somebody telling you about what thus said the Lord, what God said this and God said that, the first thing that people say is, that's just something that was forced on us, and it's only there to gain mind control because you carnal-minded. You carnal-minded. The generation before you was carnal-minded. The generation before that was carnal-minded. The generation before that was carnal-minded. And now this carnal-minded thing had failed on your generation as well. So in order for you to, instead of you trying to seek God for yourself, you going by what mama said, what daddy said. See, the thing is that back in the day, we had older people that was willing to get into the presence of God. Now we have young people with the education and the experience that had the experience to these things, but they don't want to come into the presence of God. We have to learn this. See, when you are fearful of God, when you are fearing of God, a lot of people are not going to understand what God is telling you. A lot of people are going to come to you and they're going to act like they for you, and they're going to act like they ready to enter into your experience, and they are your enemies. God show us a lot of times we're surrounded in circle with our frenemies. Frenemies is a friend that only comes to you to tell you of the past, that only come to you to tell you a thing that can destroy you, that only come to you and tell you a thing that can hurt you. They only remind you of the hurt and pain. They don't tell you about great things. They tell you and talk to you any kind of way. You have to be mindful of these things. Have a chance to get better. Place a live. I'm telling you all, whatever you all trying to do, we need to start it now. You need to start it now. Now, say you have a New Year resolution to do this and do that and do this. Start doing it now. Start doing it now. If you plan on exercising and getting in shape and being healthy, start now. Stop eating all that junk and stop doing all that stuff. Start it today. Start it now so that you can be better. I didn't want to get on here and stay on here a long time. I'm walking by the will of God. We have to learn how to operate in what God is showing us. A lot of us are misled because we're misfed. A lot of us are misled because we're misfed. So many of us have the opportunity to capitalize in God, but we are so busy researching and trying to prove that God is real. Now, in the end, when you find out that Jesus is real, when you find out that hell is real, when you find out that Jesus has created a heaven for his people, when you find out that he is the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, when you find out that he's Lord of Lords, King of Kings, when you find out all these different things, and it's time for you to be judged, you're not going to be able to say, oh God, I found out now, Lord, forgive me of my sin. Lord, help me. I want to enter in. I want to come in. It's going to be too late. See, there's a time coming that people going to want to die and they can't die. People going to want to get right with God, and they're not going to be able to get right with God. See, we have all the opportunities. We wait, we lie, we cheat, we do all these things. And God is simply sitting here telling you through people. This one preacher was mad and upset, and he said that nowadays all the teachers and the people in the congregation, they don't want to come to church because they getting there teaching and preaching through social media. They getting there teaching and preaching through Facebook Live, the YouTube Live, and all these different things. And you're right. They're getting it here because when you're sitting in front of this cell phone and you're hearing some true prophets, you're hearing some true teachers that are teaching the true doctrine of God. That church used to be a place where you can come when you're hurt and you can be made whole and God can deliver you from stuff. Now the church is so full of mess. The church is so full of money. All they speak about is money. So nobody's not going to come into the house. If I got to hear about money all the time, I may as well just stay at home. You know, but we can't forget what God said, not to assemble ourselves. Don't forget what he said, not to assemble ourselves. We have to assemble ourselves. But at the same time, we have to learn from the mistakes. We have to learn from these things so that we can be better. A lot of people will not come into the church because of the church hurt and because of the church, the things that are going on in the church. The pastors being gods, acting like God. So we have to be mindful of these things. So many times we bring pain and hurt on ourselves. We do this to ourselves. God don't do none of these things. We do it to ourselves because we don't want to learn. We don't want to learn. And when we don't want to learn, what it does is it hurts your children and it hurts your children's children. That's what happens. Angels in my life and his teachers and God, I feel the angels. We have to be mindful of these things in this season. We have to be mindful of these things in this season. We have to be mindful of what he's doing in this season. We have to be mindful of what he's saying in this season. We have to be mindful of these things. I'm not going to be before you all long, but I just want you all to know that have a positive mindset. Keep that positive mindset. Continue to lift up the name of Jesus and continue to mean it and trust in God that he's going to do a great work for you. God is a faithful God. He's a gracious God. And I thank him for what he's done for me and how he's opened my heart up, my mind up, and showed me that he's real so that I know how to teach and preach and tell people what thus said the Lord. I want you all to have an outstanding day. Thank you all for tuning in. Continue to subscribe to that channel. Send people to subscribe to that channel. Continue to follow me on Facebook. You can just type in... what's a good scripture to elaborate on tonight? Just get in Proverbs, the 3rd chapter. Proverbs, the 2nd and 3rd chapter. Get in Proverbs, the 2nd and 3rd chapter. That'll be a good chapter for you. If you can, just get in Proverbs, the 1st through the 3rd chapter. It'll be a good start for you to elaborate on tonight. But don't enter into that Bible without asking God for his understanding. Ask God to lead you. Ask God to allow the Holy Spirit to lead you before you go into that word so that you can get a greater understanding of his word. God bless you all. Thank you all for tuning in. Continue to subscribe to the channel. Continue to follow me on Facebook. Continue to follow me I'm on Instagram. You just type @MastersChoice on Instagram. Just type in Robert Cedarboy Bailey Jr. on Facebook. Follow me as I follow Christ, and we can begin to enter into seasons together. God bless each and every one of you all. You all have an outstanding day, and remember, stay joyful, stay mindful of the things that God has for you, and don't let nobody steal your joy because God gave it to you.